Rockhaven is a huge property. It's almost 3.5 acres. And up until 2006, all the buildings are, the ones you've seen, were being utilized. There's one on the other side of the fence that wasn't, but we've since been able to get into that. So, you know, many women lived here over the years, and of course many women passed away here as well. Mike says he's often asked if there's ghost stories, and he says, are there ghost stories? It's like a Scooby-Doo cartoon here. It depends on how you look at it, of course, but there have been many people saying many things, from shadow people where they see like shadows moving around, but there's really no one there. Many people have said that, or they experience sensations of people being here. Caretakers who live in this cottage get to spend the night and sleep here. They work for Parks and Rec, and both the two that I know have said, yeah, we've had experiences. The first one said that when he moved in, there's a unit. The unit has a stove with a clock on it, and he said for 3 months, non-stop, I'd change the time to the correct time. I'd come back, it would be some random different time. Happened for 3 months straight, then finally it settled down, and it hasn't happened since. But other things happen. I'm like, okay, like what? Well, we hear the typical doors shutting and banging and things like that. But we think that each other is here when we're not. The ghosts are tricking us that way. They had some brown substance drip from the ceiling into a bowl of fruit that was by the doorway, and they never figured out what it was or where it came from or why. He was never frightened by any of it, and the same with the new guy. He's totally not frightened with it, and he's had even more experiences. He lives here with his wife, and he said yes, the typical knockings and doors and stuff like that, where you think someone is in there but they're not. But also the ghosts mimic his and his wife's voices, so they think each other is talking when they're not. He has, I don't know if it's mother or mother-in-law, but I've met her, who comes to visit from time to time. And one time she was out in the back there looking towards the pines, and she started yelling that there was a woman in the yard. And the woman was in a long dark dress, and he came running and he couldn't see a woman. She's like, well, she's gone. So we went back. He's like, let me know if she comes back. Of course she came back, so she's yelling again, and the woman just was like beckoning her to come and kind of made her uneasy, but not so much that, you know, the family is accepting of it, so it's like, okay. And he says, yeah, they're not here to harm us. Mike Lawler himself had some experience once. He was in the dorms cleaning, and on cleaning day you get to kind of go do what you want to do. You can go clean wherever you want. So he was doing a bathroom, and there's some shelves in there. He was wiping down the shelves, and the very back corner of a shelf he felt something and realized pretty quickly it was a pile of pills, and someone had been cheeking their medication and popped the pills up there to get away from whatever it was they didn't want to take. At that second, he felt a very cold, angry feeling, like someone had been discovered, and he whipped around, and he was the only one in there, and he said after that it was fine, but it was just that sense of, oh my gosh, my secret's been discovered. And it was that bad feeling for a quick second, and then it was gone. What else? We have things up here that seem to be meaningful. We clean regularly, and we pretty much know what was here. The city has inventoried everything before we came in. But we find things that show up, a picture that might be someone's family member, or a brochure that wasn't in a nightstand, but it's from a long time ago, and it's someone's, that's the loudest it gets here. That was someone's meaningful thing from a church event or a children's performance or something. There's a rosary in one of the bedrooms on the bed.
Right.
That just appeared suddenly one day. I mean, we'd cleaned in there a lot, and one day we went to do a tour, and there it was, a meaningful item. Many of the women here came from a musical background or had music as part of their lives, so there was different pianos, and we know they did music therapy, things like that. This particular piano is in many pictures. This is actually in that building right there. And by the time Glendale acquired the property, there was no more pianos. When they inventoried it, nothing there. But long ago, when they were starting to get into the property, there was a city person who would do tours here. And the ending was to open the garage and show the pottery and the statuary and stuff that's in there. And one day he went to open the garage, and lo and behold, there's the piano, the exact same piano, back in the garage. Mind you, the gates are locked, the garage is locked, there's caretakers on the property. So that's a pretty curious thing. I'll pass those around.